Alright, everybody. Hi, Lobo. Okay, that's enough, Lobo. Chill. Alright, so let's talk about Bubba Wallace. Let's talk about Amber Heard. Let's talk about Jussie Smollett. Let's talk about victim culture. During the Me Too movement, I remember there was a fringe side of it that was like, why don't people just believe the women? Who exactly is having trouble believing you? Okay, you have to testify in court, and more than likely, if the person that raped you comes from money, they're gonna pay for a private attorney who's a snake and doesn't give a fuck who he's representing. And yeah, they're going to try and submit the idea that you made the whole thing up. That's fucked up. But Amber Heard, Jussie Smollett, these are only famous examples of people faking being a victim. We don't have issues with people believing women. We don't have issues with people believing that a black man had to deal with racism. If anything, the exact opposite is becoming a problem. People believe it too much. I'm not saying you shouldn't believe them. I'm saying I'm not saying that this kind of stuff never happens. Rape happens. Racism is real. But the victim culture is real too, and it needs to be addressed. Now, a lot of people want to talk... this isn't something that we can pass legislation for. The government should stay out of this issue. Society as a whole needs to change. I think from a young age, I remember being told, never hit girls. What about self-defense? No, you can't do that. That's ridiculous. Women, yes, their bone density isn't as... They don't have as much bone density or muscle density. They're not going to... Usually not as strong. Women are usually not as strong as men. But you can still pick up a gun. You can still pick up a knife. You got a hand, you can pick this thing up. Okay, this is just a prop tomahawk I used to use. It's not even... But the point is, you can still arm yourselves, and weapons, whether it's a knife, a gun, a stick, an axe, and it's an equalizer. Amber Heard was abusive to Johnny Depp, was throwing pots and pans, shoes and stuff at him, but when she started doing her makeup and claiming Johnny Depp never came forward. Why? Because any man that's been in an abusive relationship can tell you, nobody believes us. Nobody takes it seriously. Any man that's been in an abusive relationship can tell you, nobody believes us, nobody takes us seriously. This woman knew she was the instigator, knew she was violent, but accused him because she wanted something. She wanted money and she wanted attention. And this is not some isolated incident, and not every guy, you just don't know about it because not every guy is Johnny Depp. Not every guy is going to have the opportunity to record their crazy ex and go, this bitch is insane, I got her on tape. Women actually talk this way to men regularly, but every time I try to bring it up, women who don't partake in this behavior get offended. If you're not doing this, stop getting bothered by it. And for that matter, imagine what we have to put up in a society that... Imagine what it's like to be in a society that normalizes terms like toxic masculinity and just constantly throws toxic masculinity around. That's a slap in the face. You want to talk about our toxic traits, and if I'm not guilty of it, that any of those traits and I complain about, it's like, what are you whining about? Well, what are you whining about here? Women do specifically white women, do tend to play this kind of victim card. They get off on it. They like the attention that comes with it. And we're getting to where black people are starting to do that too. Honestly, I'm surprised more female celebrities haven't been outed for this exact behavior, but we've had 2 black men that come forward. I think it's time to acknowledge white women are the privileged ones, not the white men, because that's another tangent for another time, but food for thought. We are getting to a point where some black people will fake being victims of racism because they like the attention. This isn't something that we should normalize. This is something that we should have a healthy skepticism of. When people try and question the seriousness of racism in America, it's not because they're downplaying it or trying to ignore it. It's because they've probably been around black people more than a lot of you elitists and know that some black people do get off on this. There are a lot of black people who know this. Most black people don't partake in this behavior. And most black people don't have a problem calling it out. Dave Chappelle was one of the first people to come forward and call out Jussie Smollett on his BS. And even after the fact, y'all got all butthurt. He made fun of it in his stand-up specials, for fuck's sakes. Black people don't have a problem calling black people out for their victim mentality. But why are it's really white women who get away with it. White women need to be called out more for it because they're more likely to partake in this behavior. I know, because my mom used to do it. That's why nobody ever called her out. That's why why I had such a harsh childhood, because just about everybody would just sit there watching. In a way, y'all, look at this I hate to bring this up again, especially as an analogy. Nah, I'm not gonna. But you know how good cops just sit and watch bad cops? That's kind of how people treat it when bad women start misbehaving, or especially when they're doing this kind of stuff to a man. People will sit by, know this woman is full of shit, know that she is violent, know that she is psycho, but they won't call it out. They won't stop it. They won't come forward. It's time we really have a discussion on this victim mentality. I've probably offended a bunch of people with this rant, and that's part of life. I'm sorry. Being offended is a part of life. You're going to be dealing with it regardless. But, shoot, I lost my train of thought. Fuck it. I'm just going to end it right here. But yeah. I know I might be offended people with this rant, but, I'm also probably right in probably because I'm right on a lot of these things that everybody else wants to sweep under the rug. I think it's time to discuss victim mentality and discuss the telltale signs of it. Just after the 2016 election, we had a Muslim girl from the University of Lafayette here in Louisiana who claimed she was attacked by Trump supporters. Both wearing MAGA hats, both wearing wife beaters, and both wearing blue jeans. When was the last time you saw two just regular guys, wearing identical matching clothes, just hanging out? That should be that is something that we need to look at. The victim mentality is very real. People get off on this, and it needs to be addressed. And we need to start looking at telltale signs of something doesn't add up here. And for good reference, go look up the Jussie Smollett rant, or Juicy Smollett rant by Dave Chappelle. He pretty much breaks it down perfectly. Dave Chappelle pretty much broke the victim mentality down perfectly. I highly recommend you look up his Juicy Smollett. God, Dave Chappelle is fucking awesome. I love this guy. Just look up his rant. He pretty much does a better job breaking down the telltale signs of how to call out victim mentality better than I could. So, go check it out. Peace the fuck out, and remember, Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself.